And you're on another episode of Exploring Shasta County History. Today out at the historic Tower House Historic District and coming upon the Tennant's house here of the Camden House property. Let me flip my camera around. We got goats coming up. And so it's really a neat looking site here with goats on the property here. The Tennant House was built about 1913, I believe. You can see the goats here right along Clear Creek. Barn over there off into the distance there. And we got a sea of goats here. I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Jerry Gordon, a volunteer here with Wichita National Recreation Area. He gave us a lot of information today. Shout out to Jerry. Thank you, sir. Coming up on the sign now for the Tennant farmhouse, and I was correct, folks. It was built in 1913 and today serves as a private residence. So if you're out here on the Camden House property, please be respectful. Right up here is another historical site pertaining to Charles Camden and his property. This is the site of Charles Camden's Sawmill, which was built in 1852. It was situated right here. Federal property, National Park Service, no person shall disturb, destroy, remove, gather, deface, or injure any property of the National Park System. 36 CFR Parts 1 through 5. And they still got some of the retaining wall down here, it looks like. Look at this. Now, Charles Camden, I've been to his gravesite. It's actually a mausoleum in Oakland, California. And if you watch my Mountain View Cemetery video, you will see it in that. And that is where he's buried. Mill Creek Trail, Camden Water Ditch, 0.12 miles. Clear Creek Vista Trail, 0.32 miles. One of the trails is right up there. But we're going this way on into the historic El Dorado mine, which I have blogged about in the past. I believe you can still find my article on Reading.com through the Record Searchlight about it. And then, of course, on my website, Exploring Shasta County History. So when we get closer to the mine site, I will turn my camera on. And we made it to the El Dorado mine. This one is actually blocked off by the Park Service. And presently fenced off. The adit is right there where I'm pointing. That's the adit. I remember back when all this was unfenced, you could walk through all of this. They got a rock crusher right up here. They got some ore cars here. They used to have tracks here on the property and what have you. These are them here. A lot of this was rebuilt after the car fire because it actually destroyed the property here. The rock crusher is right up here. And they used to have buildings here on the property. The staircases are still here though. And it's all overgrown, but the staircases is right over here. Like right up to that area there. This mine was never associated with Charles Camden or even part of his estate and connected to the Camden House property. It just so happened that in 1967, the National Park Service purchased this property from its owner at that time, and it became part of the National Park Service property at this location. This mine was located in 1885 by miner and prospector William Paul, a native of England. It was Paul who dug a 500-foot shaft on this property, and he began toiling away in it in hopes of striking valuable ore, and it produced lucrative amounts of gold from this site. Okay guys, we are at the historic Camden Water Ditch Trail, and from here the Levi Tower gravesite is 0.45 miles, and the Camden House is 0.7. And a lot of this has been easy to moderate. And of course, always watch where you step, because rattlesnake season is here. We haven't seen any out this way yet today, but always a good caution. And here's part of the ditch here. In most cases, the trail today is the actual ditch. And always watch out for poison oak, as we're coming into some here. We're over the road that we came in on. That road is below us. The barn is coming up to our right here. See the pipe? Here's part of the original ditch here. Overgrown, of course. Camden owned this entire property. This entire section, of course, covered in poison oak. Beautiful views of the area. There's more of the ditch here. Camden House in the distance. Business partner to Charles Camden. He is buried on this property. Now, Charles Camden married Selina Tower Camden, who was Levi's sister. So this is Charles Camden's brother-in-law as well. Towers irrigation ditch. There is a trail going that way. That might be it. Not sure what this is actually dedicating. Any idea what that's marking?
What does it say?
Towers irrigation ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither do I. That is interesting. His sister, Selina, is buried in Oakland, California with her husband. That's where Charles is buried. But Levi is buried right here. I believe this is Mill Creek right here. It runs on into Clear Creek. Died in San Francisco, November 13th of typhoid fever. Levi H. Tower of Tower House, Shasta County, California. Aged 45 years, a native of Cumberland, Rhode Island. Levi H. Tower arrived in San Francisco in June of 1849, having been one of the company who purchased and brought around the ship Edward Everett. In June of 1850, he was one of several who took passage on board a shooter and coasted north in search of Trinity River, hoping to find there a harbor that would admit of and encourage the building of a city, with Trinity Mines being then esteemed the El Dorado of California. The party set out from Humboldt Bay to the mines on Trinity River, established a ferry on the south fork of that river, and opened a trail to Arcata on the sea coast, which is still traveled. In 1853, he purchased the site upon which the Tower House now stands. His energy and enterprise made it what it is, the best property in Northern California. The friends of the deceased are many. His genial nature made him welcome everywhere, and his pleasant smile and cordial shake of the hand welcomed all visitors to the Tower House and made his guests feel at home. The historic Tower House, which is seen above, was erected in 1852 at the junction of Crystal and Clear Creeks near French Gulch. The building, which is shown, was built by Levi H. Tower, who also operated it at one time. This building was destroyed by fire on January 30th, 1919. This structure was a 3-story hostelry which contained 21 rooms. It was never rebuilt. Fritz Oding was the last owner of this historic building, and it gave its name to the Tower House Historic District. Okay, we just came from that way from Levi Tower's gravesite. Mill Creek is right below us here, or we are on Mill Creek actually. The Camden House is right here, and looks like we got these bridge abutments here of a former bridge that went across Mill Creek at this location, quite possibly. And there's more on the other side there, right in here. Try to make our way across so you can see the other side. And we are at the historic Camden House. They say this house is the oldest house still standing in Shasta County, built in 1852. But I'm going to blow your mind on this one, folks. The Park Service, believe it or not, does not want you to know that only one wall of this historic clapboard style house is original. The rest was rebuilt over that one wall inside, and that, it my friends, is a true fact. Of course, the buildings that you see here are newer than the house itself. Parts of the property was destroyed in the 2018 car fire. It actually survived. Now, Charles Camden was sort of a jack of all trades. He was a miner prospector. He owned a toll road, kept a toll at the Camden House area here as well, which you will see what that area looks like today as well. But he was vitally important. He had several water ditches. He was man's means. When he died, he was worth a lot of money. We walked through a siding of the property here. The actual entrance is right over here to my right. And we'll be going over there shortly. And I'm not going too much into his history alone because my Mountain View Cemetery video already dives into his history. I'm just kind of focusing here on this historic structure today. The home of Charles Camden, built in 1852, still standing at this location. I've been inside it when I was younger, but very few memories of it being inside, from it often being closed. Wraparound porch, clapboard style, just beautiful from the outside. Which was originally built as a log cabin in 1852 upon this creek right here. Originally started out as one room. One of these days when they're open, I'm gonna have to come on out and film the inside for you. Screen netting. Oh, wow. That was a shock. Interesting. Just for kicks, might as well try it. Figured. And going on up to that opposite side of the bridge abutment, and of course these smaller buildings are newer. And there we go, looking right across. Here's the bridge button. See where my finger's pointing? Going all the way across. The Camden House. Success was called luck by those that failed. From observation, 9/10 of the luck came from my hard work. In judgment, Charles Camden. Charles Camden, who believed that his personal success was due to persistence and hard work, built the house in front of you as a one-room structure in 1852. The Camden family lived in the house full-time and seasonally until 1945. Charles's business successes included extracting $80,000 worth of gold from Clear Creek and its tributaries. $80,000 then would be about $2.5 million today. He also mined the miners by building and owning a toll road and selling water that was collected and sent downstream via his water ditches. The success of the Camden family was a rarity for Shasta County during the California Gold Rush era, and as their wealth and family grew, so too did their house. By 1890, the house had grown to the size and shape it is today. Behind the house, a summer kitchen, woodshed, and guest house was built. The kitchen was also used as a servant quarter. Today, the Camden House is one of the oldest homes in Shasta County. Stroll around it and imagine what life would have been like here for Charles and his wife Felina over 150 years ago. Welcome to this toll bridge. We hope it makes it easier for you to cross Clear Creek. Since you are walking across, please pay 10 cents. And for future reference, it's 25 cents to ride over on horseback and $1.25 to cross by wagon. Thank you and have a nice day. Charles Camden was the owner of the toll bridge that once stood on the exact same location as the footbridge in front of you. Camden spent $20,000 to improve the road between here and the town of Shasta. He widened the road, built a bridge over Whiskey Creek, and improved and covered the bridge here at Clear Creek. Camden's investment paid off with a franchise obtained from the state of California, who collected tolls for 50 years from travelers going between Shasta and Weaverville. This was just one of Camden's many successful business ventures. Who was toll bridge owner? Born and raised in England, businessman Charles Camden, born in 1817, died in 1912, lived in New York, Chile, Peru, before heading to Northern California. After gold was discovered in the state, Camden met and became friends with Levi Tower. Here's one of the original foundation piers for the toll bridge. Still here. And you can still see burnt marks from 2018 car fire on it. Iron piece right here sticking out. Interesting. This toll bridge was actually destroyed by the 2018 car fire, and it was later rebuilt.